Welcome to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy. And today on the phone with us is Kimberly Yellowrobe with Banner Plans and Network. And we also have Mr. Hoskie Benally, and he is from the Native American Disability Law Center. Hello, Kimberly, and hello, Mr. Benally, and welcome to Native Talk Arizona.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, I'm so excited to learn more. I know, Kimberly, you've been on a few times talking about the work you do in Arizona. So before we get started, Kimberly, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump to Mr. Benally and hear his story as well.
My name is Dr. Kimberly Yellowrobe, and I'm an enrolled member of the Rosebud Sioux tribe from South Dakota. And I have been part of I've worked with Banner Plans and Networks, serve as the senior manager, tribal coordinator. You've heard me on the station before sharing information about the Arizona American Indian Disability Summit. So been doing that. We just hosted our 22nd event this past April, and it was a great event, in person only. So wanted to share the vision of Mr. Hoskie Benally, who also serves on the National Council Disabilities from the White House and the Native American Disability Law Center. And it was his vision to create a symposium highlighting issues, concerns, challenges American Indians with disabilities experience on reservation lands, also off in the city. So really putting this idea Mr. Hoskie shared in hosting a symposium with various speakers from across the nation, representing different tribal organizations, nonprofits, federal agencies, and everyone, the speakers will be sharing what they're doing to improve the lives and issues, address the issues for American Indians with disabilities. So it's been a long journey, but really happy to host this inaugural symposium, Cultivating Care, the Three Sisters approach to disability in Native country. And we chose the Three Sisters approach because our focus is on health, education, and welfare. And these pillars are very important to all of our tribal folks out there. So that's pretty much a little bit story behind this symposium itself. And I wanted to turn it over to Mr. Hoskie because he really is the vision maker for this.
Okay, Mr. Benally, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey, and then we'll get into the Disability Symposium.
Yeah, my name is Hoskie Benally Jr., and I live up here in Shiprock, New Mexico. I'm the Community Government Liaison for Native American Disability Law Center, working primarily with the Navajo Nation and the Hopis. And I'm also was appointed by President Biden, was serving on the National Council on Disabilities, and now serving under President Trump. So that's who I am. Just trying to help enhance and addressing disability needs and issues with Native Americans across Indian country. So that's primarily my focus at this point in time after being in this field for a number of years.
So I know the National American Indian Disability Symposium is coming up in July. It's July 15th and 16th. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a virtual event. So my question is, this is a 2-day disability symposium, and do you have a lot of different speakers, and what's planned for the event?
Okay. Well, this whole event came out of the Native American Disability Law Center has a group of members called the Intertribal Disability Advocacy Council, and made out from a number of disability professionals here in Indian country from different tribes. And so we formed this group and began to look at how we can make some impact on the disability arena here at a national level. I think a lot of it is, the way I viewed it, is that we don't really share between organizations. We serve Native Americans, but in different areas. And then we also, there's a tendency to all go and put in for the same grants from the federal government and so we're kind of in competition with one another. And so my idea was, why don't we all get, so to speak, under one teepee and talk about what are our needs and issues and recommendations at our level as we serve Native Americans in a variety of disabilities. Why don't we somehow all get together and share our information and come up with a report? The National Disability Council, NDC, all the members on there are selected by Congress and the President's office. And so they serve a 6-year term. And back in 2000, President Clinton issued a executive order 13175. All federal agencies and departments began to work in addressing the issues and needs of what people with disabilities across Indian country are. And so at that time, they did some surveys and they came up with some recommendations, but that just tended to lay dormant until President Biden. Then he reinvigorated that executive order. And NCD then took up that executive order and began to think about different ways in which we can complete that executive order. And so that gave us a prime opportunity to begin to bring that at a national level. The National Council on Disabilities provides legislative recommendations to Congress about different disability issues, not specifically just Native Americans, but all the issues that are there across at a national level. But the council then formed the National Council of Disabilities, then re-established what we call the Tribal Lens Project, and begin to look at how we can complete that executive order. And so we started that journey, and we started to gather different reports from different organizations addressing different needs specific to their organization. So when using those reports, they started to collect those. And then on top of that, they hired some consultants to go out and do some interviews, and then to get more reports from them. And then we, the IDAC, meaning the Intertribal Disability Advocacy Council, also we did surveys with Native Americans with disabilities to find out what their needs were, what their recommendations were, what their challenges are. And so we wrote up a report on that, and that was presented to the National Council on Disabilities. And matter of fact, Dr. Yellowrobe was one of the presenters on that. And so they took that report and then be using that report to come up with a final report on what should be forwarded to Congress as a comprehensive report. So as part of that, this symposium, we said, well, we got a report done with people with disabilities. Now let's go on the other side and look at what the organizations have. What are they facing? What are their needs? What is their funding like? What are their challenges? What are their barriers that hinder them to provide the kind of services that they would feel like they're satisfied in providing? And so this is where this symposium idea came to pass. And so we began to put this together with a lot of help from the University of Arizona. I can't remember, Sonoran.
The Sonoran.
Yeah,
the Sonoran Disability Institute.
Yep. So they're doing a lot of the logistics for us on that. And so we begin to do this process, and Dr. Yellowrobe we designated her as the coordinator, and then she began to get all these different organizations sending out invitations, getting them interested. We had a symposium planning committee made out of a number of different disability professionals also there, and from a number of tribes, and began that whole process and began to look at how we can do this 2-day symposium. And National Council on Disabilities will also be at this symposium and be one of the presenters. And so when the things that come out of this symposium, the report that will be written, National Council on Disabilities will be taking this report also and using it for their report back to Congress. Hopefully, we're hoping that this report will be done by November. In November, we have quarterly meetings with the National Council on Disabilities, and this year in November, first time, we're bringing the National Council on Disabilities to the Phoenix area. And so at that, we'll be inviting different tribal members, people with disabilities, to this event, and getting more information on it. Hopefully, we'll have a pretty near close final report on that, and then have that put together and then forward it at the congressional level. So that's what this whole thing is about. I think it's probably the first time that any kind of report like this will be shared with Congress and the President's office. We do work right under the President's office, and we do have the authority to forward all that kind of information to the President's desk. So I think this is something that's, in my opinion, real historic. It's been spinning our wheels and all these years, and hopefully this is going to be the answer to answering a lot of the issues that are out there and begin to be addressed at a national level. So I'm real thankful. Many ceremonies, prayers have gone into this from my part, and of Dr. Yellowrobe. It seemed like our Creator gave us an answer to our prayer. So we're real thankful for this opportunity.
It sounds like an amazing conference. We don't have a lot of time left, but I did want to ask Kimberly. So I saw just a sneak peek at the agenda, and you've got some incredible speakers. I know you've got Jim Warren, and I know you've got people from ARC of Arizona, and you've got Agnes Atakai, who I know as well, and Dwight Francisco. Some really, really great speakers. Now, this is virtual, and Kimberly, is this for youth and adults, and is there a cost?
The symposium is free. It's virtual.
Okay.
And we invite all listeners to attend, from the young people, because they're not always going to be young, understanding how important these matters are that are bringing the symposium together. We have some great speakers from Tribal Elder Justice Collaborative speaking to issues our Indigenous elders face with disabilities. We also have Dr. Daryl Joseph from NAU presenting on My Health, My Choice, improving breast and cervical cancer screening for American Indian women with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
I saw that. That looks really interesting.
Citywide.
Yeah.
Right. And we made every effort to touch on health, education, and welfare, because these are all important topics to us out there in Indian country, and we also depend on these organizations to give us some leadership and direction when addressing the challenges and barriers that we face as individuals with disabilities. So really excited that the registration is open. Susan, I have shared with you the save the date from the Sonoran Center with the registration link. Again, it's free. It's Thursday and Friday in July 15th and 16th, or 16th and 17th. Sorry.
Okay.
But the registration link is open, and really looking forward to folks chiming in and reach out. You know, when you're on the forum, and share your questions, share your curiosities, share with us, so the folks that represent these organizations can also take those questions back to their agencies to see how we can work together and address them.
So this is going to be for anybody that wants to participate, correct? So whether it's somebody with disabilities or an agency or an interested individual, is that correct?
Yes, consumers and providers.
Okay. And then is there a limit to how many people can register? I mean, do they need to rush and do it, or, can they wait a week or two?
No, the registration will be open all the way up to the day of the event. So it's open, and we have capacity to host over 1,500 folks.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Please join us.
Okay. All right. So, Kimberly, can you give us the website or your email where people can reach you for this?
Sure. If you have any questions or need assistance or some guidance, email me. I'm at kimberly.yellowrobe@bannerhealth.com.
Okay. So, Kimberly, thank you so much for coming on. And Mr. Hoskie Benally, it was a pleasure to meet with you. Your story is amazing, and the work that you're doing is, both of you, is so important. And I know it makes a difference. Kimberly, I know that I've heard the best things about the symposiums or the summits that you do for youth and adults in Arizona. So I'm sure this one's going to be even much better since it's national. So thank you both, and can't wait to hear how it turns out.
And thank you, Susan, and the Native Health for hosting us today. We appreciate it.
Yes, thank you very much, ma'am.
Coming up next on Native Talk Arizona, we'll learn about the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community CCDF Certificate Program with Pamela Prasher. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 8800 North 22nd Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. And Native Health provides primary medical services at the new Guadalupe Health Center, 6725 South Priest Drive in Guadalupe. Native Health provides primary medical, dental, behavioral health, WIC, and wellness services for the urban Native American community. For more information, call 602-279-5262 or visit our webpage at nativehealthphoenix.org.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy, and the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community CCDF Certificate Program is designed to support access to quality and affordable childcare. On the phone today to tell us more is Pamela Prasher. She is the ECEC Assistant Leader. Pam, welcome to Native Talk Arizona.
Thank you for having me here today.
I am so excited to learn more. I know it's an amazing program. But before we get on to the interview questions, tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, how you ended up at Salt River in that program.
Thank you again for having me. Aniganapchuget Pamela Prasher, Nia Pamela Imuk. My name is Pamela Prasher, and I am so grateful to be here to share my journey with the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community, both the Early Childhood Education Center and the certificate program. So I did start here in the community, serving the families and children approximately 17 years ago. I started in the classrooms as a teacher, and then I transitioned to a family advocate, and then the CCDF program manager, and then now the Early Childhood Education Center assistant leader. And so that has been my journey with this program and this community.
Wow, 17 years. So I am sure you know a lot and you have a lot of institutional knowledge. Congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's back up a little bit and tell me, what does CCDF stand for?
So CCDF stands for the Child Care Development Fund. And so, like you shared earlier, it provides us an opportunity to service families that, need assistance with childcare and, quality childcare for children around the valley.
Okay, so what is, and then I know you also have a certificate program, right?
Correct.
Okay, so are they two different things?
Yes, so the CCDF, which is a Child Care Development Fund, funds both of our programs here in the community in Salt River. So it services the Early Childhood Education Center, which is our tribally operated center that has about 220 children here in the community.
Wow.
And then it also, oh, sorry.
No, that's a lot of kids. 220?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, go on. And then the certificate program.
Yes, and we also have the certificate program that is funded with the CCDF program that services. Currently, we have about 231 children that we service off of the reservation that are enrolled in a federally recognized tribe, birth through 12.
Okay, so the certificate program, all right, let me make sure I get this. All right, so one, the CCDF, you've got the child care at Salt River, and then do you need to be a Salt River tribal member to utilize the center?
So as long as a child, so we have multiple funding with the Early Childhood Education Center. We are a Head Start, and then receive funding from CCDF as well as tribal funds for the Early Childhood Education Center. So either living on the reservation or a child who's enrolled in a U.S. federally recognized tribe.
Okay, so they don't have to be a Salt River tribal member. It could be anybody with who's enrolled with a federally recognized tribe. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
So at the early childhood, yes, yeah.
Okay, I got one right. Okay. Then the second part, the CCDF certificate program. So that is for people off Salt River, but that are you said 0 to 12, and then those families would qualify for the child care assistance. Did I get that right?
Correct. Yes, you got that right. Yes, so we have a service area as long as children live in the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community or Lehigh, Chandler, Glendale, Laveen, Mesa, Phoenix, Queen Creek, Scottsdale, or Tempe. So if a child resides in any of those areas, if they are between the ages 0 to 12 and enrolled in a federally recognized tribe, they are eligible to receive services.
Okay, so in my mind, this seems like the best kept secret ever, right?
Yes. So we've been certificate program has been under the wing of the Early Childhood Center for many years, and so we are, we're trying to promote our program to make sure that we outreach families that need assistance to high quality care.
Okay, so let me ask you this. So you mentioned, I think, almost every city or town in Maricopa County, right? I mean, I think there were a couple that you didn't mention, maybe on the west side, like far west side. Yes. But other than that, right, you got everything on the east side, you got everything in Central Phoenix.
Correct.
Okay. Wow, what an opportunity. And I know that we posted that on our social media, and I know there were a lot of people or I saw a lot of likes and shares. Are people responding and reaching out to you?
Yes, we have had an influx of number of families reach out to see if they qualify, and we've been busy. We have a great team. We have a small and mighty team of 8, but we do our best to service families quickly and in a timely manner.
Small and mighty is awesome. All right, so let's talk about who can apply. So you said anybody 0 to 12. Right?
Correct.
With a tribal ID or CIB from a federally recognized tribe.
Yes.
Okay. And go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, and then so we look at, there are certain requirements as in, families must be working or going to school. So if a parent is working a minimum of 20 hours a week, we verify that through, the pay stubs, and then also maybe if they're going to school or a combo of both, we do have that as part of our requirement And then children who are in protective care are also covered as well.
Okay. So if they're in foster care or DCS, and so even just DCS involvement
Yes.
or
Yep.
foster DCS. Okay. All right.
Yes. And we've also included children who have been adopted as well, so that we understand, we don't know what that child might have gone through. So we use that as a protective factor in how we define protective services for that child.
Wow. What an amazing program. I'm serious. Like, best kept secret ever. All right. So what happens? Take me through the process. So I would say, oh, okay, I've got a child 0 to 12. I'm working or going to school. Do I call you? Do I apply online? And what kind of documents, or what's the process, and how long does that take?
Okay, so we have families reach out through the website, our email, or our phone number. So whatever's the most convenient for the families, we try to accommodate as best as we can. We do have our website listed, which on our website, which is, if families go to ecec.saltriverschools.org. They are able to access a little bit more information, and then our application as well. And then it has directions on where to email it to. Families are able to call our direct number at 480-362-2200. And, the front desk staff are great, and they will direct families to certificate program staff. And then additionally, we do have Instagram through Salt River Schools, and then a Facebook webpage where families can search us up and get our information through that.
Okay.
So sorry.
No, go ahead.
The process typically takes, if families are curious if they apply or not, I always say apply, and then we will let you know, if you qualify or you don't, or if you're ineligible for services at that time. That typically you'll find out within 2 days if you are eligible or not. And then typically the whole process where families can begin to start utilizing childcare once they complete their orientation is about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay. So a couple of questions come to mind. Are there income limits on this?
Yes, so we do have we utilize the CCDF limit based off of the income of the family and the number of family. A number of individuals in their family. There is a sliding scale fee that we utilize. And if you're unsure, we just say apply, and then we will let you know if you're eligible or ineligible. But that is something that we take into consideration in future planning. If we notice that a lot of families are over income, or they're in that little area of maybe they might qualify if they stopped working and go to school. So we try to take all of that information into consideration for future planning. Because we are a sovereign nation, we have that flexibility with CCDF to define how we can better serve families and remove those barriers to families. So we do take all of those things into consideration. If income is a factor for families that hinders them to receive our services, we can consider that to remove it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And is there a child limit per family? So what if I have 5 children? Does it matter, or is there you only do 1 or 2 per family?
No, we do the whole family.
That's awesome. All right. I would have to ask you, do you, one of my favorite questions to ask people is when you lay awake at night, which hopefully you do not, but if you do, do you have a favorite success story, or say, you know what, my 17 years at Salt River is worth it, or has made this difference in my life, or this is why I do it? Do you have a story like that?
There are so many stories that come to mind. And so specifically, we have one of our parents that have gone through our program, and she actually was so appreciative of our program. She was able, she shared, I want to work for ECC. I want to work for a certificate program, and give back to the families that, give back to the program that served her. And so she finished her schooling, started working here at our Early Childhood Education Center as a secretary. First, she had started as a part-time receptionist and then moved to a secretary position. And then now she's our billing specialist for our program. So she has, seen the program full circle. So she's has been one of our success stories. And additionally, something that is unique to our program that a lot of programs don't offer is we cover all of the, besides the subsidized childcare, we do offer, we pay for all of the fees, except late fees. So we cover, a lot of programs have like transportation fee and materials fee, and technology fees. So we cover all of those costs, like I shared, to remove any kind of barriers that the families might be facing. And then recently, we just eliminated family co-payments, so families can, utilize our program, attend a high-quality center, a high-quality early childhood center, or summer program or camp that best meets the needs for their family without having to worry about maybe their child not going on field trips, but then also have a place where they can, drop off their child and know that they're getting the best quality care.
Wow. I've still got to repeat, third time, best kept secret ever. I mean, I think, we get a lot of calls and people always saying like, I don't have money for childcare. And I know that state agencies don't do that. And I just think what an opportunity. And people really, really need to take advantage of this and apply, learn more and or apply. But all right, so we don't have a ton more time, but I do want to find out, how can our listeners find more information about the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian Community, or SRPMIC, the CCDF certificate program, and how can they contact you?
Families can go to our website at ececsaltriverschools.org to get more information and applications. And then our phone number is 480-362-2200.
Pam, I cannot thank you enough for coming on today, talking about this really important program. I think it is so important. We're just getting started in the summer. People need childcare. And then obviously when they go back to school, for the parents and for the children, and what a difference this can make. So thank you so much. And I do hope you know what a difference that you all make and how much it's helping the families. So congratulations, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Up next, host Susan Levy chats with Victor Z. Corpus of Maze Skateboards. Support for KRDP 90.7 FM comes in part from Native Health, with 2 locations in Phoenix, 4041 North Central Avenue, Building C, near the corner of Central Avenue and Indian School Road, and at 8800 North 22nd Avenue. Native Health is also located in Mesa at 777 West Southern Avenue, near the corner of Southern Avenue and Extension Road. And Native Health provides primary medical services at the new Guadalupe Health Center, 6725 South Priest Drive in Guadalupe. Native Health's patient enrollment specialist can help you enroll, renew, or update your access information. This can be done in person, on the phone. It's fast, easy, and can make a difference in keeping your health care coverage. For more information, call 602-279-5262.
Welcome back to Native Talk Arizona, Native Health's Native American Cultural Affairs program, presented by Native Health and KRDP 90.7 FM. I'm Susan Levy, and today on the phone with us is Victor Corpus from Maze Skateboards. Victor, welcome to Native Talk Arizona.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm excited to learn more. I don't know anything about skateboards, but I know I'm going to learn some. Before we get started, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey.
My name is Victor Z. Corpus. I am originally from Oklahoma, but ancestrally, I am from the Laguna, Acoma, Hopi, and Okeowenge Pueblos, and I reside here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, I'm just a native skateboarder out here in New Mexico doing our thing.
All right. So tell us, first of all, what is Maze Skateboards?
Maze Skateboards is a collective that was created by a group of friends in high school. And we started out because we loved skateboarding and we wanted to pursue it in as many ways as we could. And so the best thing that we thought is we could make products that represent who we were, because we didn't really see that in the marketplace at the time. And from there, it just kind of morphed into what it is today, which is a full store in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we do events for the community and just kind of do skateboarding as much as we can.
All right, so let's back up a little bit. So you make skateboards, correct?
Correct.
Is that a hard process? Is that easy? Is it just like you get plywood, or is it special wood? How does that work?
So yes, making skateboards is a lengthy process. It starts by bringing in the wood. It's not super special, but it is a special cut. It is made of veneer, hard rock maple veneer coming out of Canada. That is where the best species of that wood comes from. We take that and we have our own molds and we cut, shape, and sand all the skateboards. It is a lengthy process. But, the results are awesome, and we get to skate our own skateboards.
How long does it take to make each one?
It can vary on what kind of shape you end up having, but generally we make them in batches. So we probably make about 10 skateboards in a period of 3 days, because there is some curing time that is involved with the glue and, in time in between sanding and things like that.
Okay. All right. So I have a really stupid question. Are there different sizes? And you just mentioned shapes. I thought it was just one shape. So there's different shapes?
Yeah, just like anything, everybody has their own unique perspective to, their art or whatever it may be, and skateboards are no different. So some people like square shapes, some people like more organic shapes, some people like longer skateboards. Skateboards come in all different shapes and sizes, kind of like how we do as humans, but generally they look like popsicle sticks, and that's kind of what we would generally make, but we did veer off and make some that look like corn stalks. We did make some that look like feathers and so on and stuff like that.
Oh, cool. All right. So does the skateboard that you get, again, another dumb question, depend on how tall or short or round you are, or is it just personal preference with not in regard to your size?
So for the general person, I would say go bigger the better on skateboards. We generally say to go bigger, and the reason why is it's a little bit more comfortable. It's kind of like thinking about standing on a 2x4 versus standing on a 4x8 sheet of plywood. What's more comfortable to you is standing on a 4x8. So in general, we say go bigger, but over time you will develop your own preference. Maybe you like to feel your feet hang off the board, or maybe you like it a little bit smaller because you want to do tricks and stuff like that. But it's in the beginning, I would say bigger the better. As you start to get a little bit more enveloped in skateboarding, then you can pick whatever you like.
Okay, and you also just said that you made like a corn stalk and a feather. So is that that's the shape of the board?
Correct, like the silhouette of the skateboard. It's still going to have kicktails, but it's going to be cut into the shape of, just organic objects like a corn stalk. And it's not the best thing to ride per se, but it's something cool to like kind of look at or to have kind of a novelty thing. Not really made for the actual kind of skateboarding that people think of when they think of skateboarding.
Okay, so more something to hang on your wall or a decorative piece.
Yeah, or you could use it for mainly for cruising. Like it's definitely good for cruising, but not necessarily like to do a kickflip or something.
Okay, all right. So how'd you get interested in skateboarding? You said you were in high school?
I got interested in skateboarding before high school. I started skateboarding when I was 11 years old. I was just a boy, and I seen a group of teenage boys doing these flips and tricks and sliding across a rail, and it was probably the most amazing thing that I had seen at that point, and I was like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life.
And so do you skateboard a lot?
I do skateboard a lot. I try to skateboard at least 3 to 4 times a week. I get to take my little brother out now, and yeah.
Okay. All right. So what does the name Maze Skateboard means? And it's Maize, correct?
Correct. Maíz.
Okay.
So maize is it's actually a name that my mother came up with. Me and the boys were sitting there and coming up with all types of different names, and we were like, oh, maybe this will work, maybe that'll work. But at the end of the day, those names were a little too specific to us or to who we were at the time. And my mom was like, why don't you do maize? Like, maize is, used in Canada all the way down to South America. At one point, it could have been currency. Like, it's just known throughout all indigenous cultures here in North and South America. And I was like, whoa, that's so cool. And we just kind of stuck with it, and it ran, and it was like, very short in syllables. So it worked out, and it fit good on a board, and so on and so forth.
Very cool. All right. Well, props to your mom. So, okay. So you said you ride like 3 to 4 times a week. I assume it's really good exercise, right?
Yes, it's definitely good exercise, full body workouts. You definitely get, really, really nice calves. I get a lot of comments on my calves, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, you definitely are out there. You're in the sun, you're moving, and you're keeping yourself limber because you fall a lot in skateboarding.
All right, but then you also wear protective gear, right?
Yes, I nowadays I definitely suggest wearing a helmet. If you want to progress better and you want to progress faster, I 100% agree with wearing helmets and knee pads and things like that so that you can progress as fast as you can and get as good as you can.
Okay. And I don't remember, is skateboarding now an Olympic sport?
Correct. I believe the Olympics are in, I don't know where they are, but yeah, because the countries get to decide what sports get to be in there. But yes, I believe 2028 Olympics, there will be skateboarding.
That's cool. All right. And then are you like Olympic material?
So skateboarding is a very young sport in the concept of organization. And so there's a lot of things that are, bureaucratic, like the Olympics or organizations. There's kind of shortcomings in those areas where there's governing bodies that determine who is and who is not Olympic worthy. But in a general, kind of sense, I am not Olympic material, but I have skateboarded many local and kind of national contests here and there throughout my years.
Cool. All right. I would imagine in order to make the Olympics, people must have to skateboard every day, all day. I don't know. Maybe.
I would say that it's like a sport. I definitely think it's a full-time job if you want to make it to the Olympics. I don't think there's a lot of resources out there right now, just in general, for anybody to become Olympic material. But yeah, it's definitely you got to invest time and make sure that you stay healthy and keep your body strong. And I see a lot of people not only just doing the sport of skateboarding, but also weightlifting and weight training to keep their bodies limber and to keep their bodies strong for the impact and the tricks that we need to do.
Yeah, and then I'm sure along with that, as you're doing that full-time or near full-time, you would need sponsors. So as the sport grows, I assume that will be happening.
Yeah, no, definitely. We maybe not to the Olympic kind of level, because skateboarding was never really, or at least from the community of skateboarding, was never really looked at as a sport, and so it's even weird for me to say it right now. But there are sponsors, and really what skateboarding was known for was having a video part in a company's movie that comes from skateboarding, or making the cover of one of the magazines, which is named Thrasher or the Skateboard Mag. trying to make one of those covers or getting a video part that was, well recognized throughout the skateboarding community was far more important than ever, say, winning contests.
Wow. Okay. So it's changing. All right. So why do you think skateboarding's so popular and the increasing number of youth getting into the sport? I mean, do you think it's just camaraderie or exercise? And, I think it's great. You're not on your phone and you're outside, but what are your thoughts?
As the kids like to say, it makes you touch grass. But yeah, no, skateboarding is a very unique, individualistic sport or activity because it's transportation, it's exercise, it's camaraderie. You meet people. You get to view the city in a whole different perspective that most human beings will never get to experience. And I think the reason why it's really popular is because it's so accessible, especially out on reservations. You don't need much, and reservations don't have a lot. So as long as you have a parking lot with some concrete or some pavement or even a road, you can get to skateboarding. And I've even seen people skate in like the hard packed dirt roads and stuff. And so I just think it's the accessibility, number one, and then number two, I think the community that comes around skateboarding it's just a beautiful place to be. And once you get in there, you're hooked for life.
I do know that some of the tribes are getting new skate parks. I do occasionally see some notifications of that, and they look like people really like them. They're well used, and which I think is a great project. But I also want to ask, I know that you do screen printing. So what was the idea behind having skateboards and then screen printing? And are you the designer behind the art?
So skateboarding and screen printing, what happened is we wanted to make T-shirts, and I had no idea how to make T-shirts. And eventually that led me to screen printing. And from there, I just literally learned how to do it. Messed up probably hundreds of shirts in the beginning, and thankfully family and friends bought those, terrible printed shirts. But eventually I got to a standard level of printing, and people started to like it. And what we did is we actually are being mentored by a handful of people on screen printing, and screen printing is a whole trade in itself that a lot of people just don't know about or are unaware of. And shout out to our big brothers Jabi and Saba. They are the ones who are mentoring us and kind of putting us on the right track to make these things kind of happen. But they also gave us access to a workshop that is fully capable of production. And so that's why we got into screen printing so heavily these days, is because we have these mentors who are, leading us down the trade and leading us down the path to learn about this kind of this trade that we're doing. But that part is how we got connected to screen printing on a deeper level. But as far as the design, it depends on what design that you might have seen. If you're familiar with the brand, you might know the design Mowgli, which is kind of an indigenous skateboarder with a shield on a skateboard, and it says maize at the top. That one was designed by a gentleman from Italy, actually. He was in Albuquerque visiting, and I got to connect with him, and I gave him a gift as I was taught in my life to, just give back, and he blessed me with that design. But for the most part, yes, I am in charge of designing the artwork, but we do a lot of collaborations and partnerships with community members. A gentleman that I collaborate with frequently is Joseph Arnaud. I kind of keep him in-house, but for the most part, all the designs do come from our people in-house and myself, of course.
That's awesome. Your stuff is great. And so I assume you're going to grow both parts of the business, right? You're going to grow the screen printing and then also the skateboarding part, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. You're trying to mesh both of them together.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we're pretty much out of time. So I wanted to ask you, where can people find information about Maze Skateboards and your skating and your T-shirts? Is it a website or social media? How do you prefer that they find you?
Yeah, if you go on the interwebs and you search MAIZE skateboards or Maze Forever, you'll find us. But if you type in Maze Skateboards, I'm sure you'll find us. And also on the Instagram and TikTok, you can find us at Maze Skateboards. Again, MAIZE Skateboards. Yeah.
Victor, thank you. I learned a lot, and I look forward to following you and learning more about what you're up to and the cool skateboards and your artwork.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Native Talk Arizona, presented by Native Health and 90.7 FM KRDP. Our executive producer is Susan Levy. Sound engineer is Javier Quiroga. We hope you will tune in again next week. If you have any questions, please reach us at nativetalkaz@listen2krdp.com.